Warwoven shot to the lead and shot away. Lumbini's going to do the chasing. It's Warwoven in front. 100 to go. The margin 2.5. Make it 3 lengths down. Warwoven far too good for them. Warwoven bolted in.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, Brisvegas style. I'm your host, Scoot. I've got Donnie back fresh from a little Christmas and New Year break. Was it relaxing in a break?
Yeah, it was awesome. Got away to sunny coast in Yamba to fantastic sports. Got plenty of sun, plenty of surfing, and fresh, ready to go.
Plenty of sharks down at Yamba at the moment?
Nah, never been a shark attack there, and I was surfing most days on sunrise. So
You see him though?
don't see them. I don't try not to think about them, but cracking card this week. So
Yeah.
a real semi-final feel to it for the Magic Millions Carnival.
Yeah, double header. Can't wait for the wave and the sunlight meeting this Saturday. It's Twilight, which is great. And then we've got the 2-year-old and 3-year-old on the big feature day next Saturday. It's going to be a bonanza, and it's a little quiet week before all the Southerners sort of roll in and try and destroy us on the drink, and all the functions all next week. So it's a nice little warm-up semi-final, as you say. But GK, we had a little bit of a warm-up, a prelim or a qualifying final last week at Eagle Farm. Punters back on top, and we went to the races and got away with a couple.
Yeah, we did. There were definitely some sharks on track last Saturday, and a few characters misbehaving as well. So, look, it was a great day on track. It was actually a fantastic crowd, and it was just a great day's racing, I thought. I thought the track played really well in general. And yeah, like I think just this summer carnival, we've seen Eagle Farm play pretty well. There's been a few days where it's been a bit laney, but last week was perfect.
Yeah, finally got it right, and they ran pretty straight for us. Warwoven was an absolute beauty. Gee, paraded well. Just his back end, he just had so much strength. We popped down to the parade and had a look at him, and it was just an absolute launch job from the yard. And the scary part is he just looks like he's going to tighten up perfectly from that. And I think he's just going to be the strongest 2-year-old. So he'll take a world of beating, I would have thought. Ninja, everyone said enough about it. And then Need Some Luck. The market knew, just didn't take their foot off it. And Robusto was the other Quinella horse there. And a couple of misses, some near misses. But Walsh Bay, plenty talked about that ride. And no sort of plan B, and Devil in the Deep Blue Sea. So interesting to see who rides at next start. And then Hell knocked off Amusantes, who I thought was pretty gallant. It was a good each-way find from myself and you, GK. But, didn't the Hell boys raw Tony Gollan over the fence, and Tommy Turbo looked like a Cheshire cat in the mounting yard after Hell was back in the winning circle. So it was great scenes, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was that we were down there for that last race, and yeah, there was a lot of people very happy with the Hell victory. A few of our friends backed it. You know, we were on Amusantes each way, and yeah, they gave it a good roar, and I think everyone was having a pretty good day by that stage. So it was almost 6 p.m. So look, it was just an awesome atmosphere, and just pretty much says why you should get down to the races, and for those types of days.
Yeah, it was great. A good finale and a great day's racing. And we sort of said at pre-show that they were going to run straight, and it looked like a pretty A, B, C, D sort of day. And it was a great day for punters. So finally got one over the bookies. This week, GK, Gold Coast Rail Back True is a little bit scary. It's been out and it's been racing fairer. And we've only got 3 mil prior with no rain during the meeting. And because it's a Twilight later start, I think they'll have to irrigate in the morning. But monorail, first 2 lanes look very advantageous, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, there's already been quite a bit of talk about it. Like, there's a lot of previews and talks about the track already. You can see online, and everyone's sort of coming to the same conclusion that it does look scary and it could play up and in rails. So, I guess there's the chance that maybe they overdo it, and then that sort of evens it out. But generally, in my experience, when they go back to true here, you want to draw low, you want to find that rail, and you can be leaders back, and potentially even 3 back rail, but you need to find that fence, and then maybe later in the day, as we get into dusk, it could shift, and it could be down the outside. We've seen that with the Gold Coast sometimes, but pretty wary and definitely want to just watch a few early to get a sense on pattern.
Oh, don't be launching. This is the recipe for success. This is your perfect track, isn't it?
I think I've got a slightly different view. I think
Sure.
the track's kind of settled in a bit more than what it had when it was earlier in the day. I think it's the third year of the Magic Millions Carnival on the new track, and the last meeting at the 13th of the 12th, it was actually quite fair, and the lanes in the straight were 7 to 8 were the best. So
Okay.
fingers crossed at races like that, but we'll be prepared to change up and back some leaders or box seat horses if it is rail on fire, which there is a chance it can be.
Yeah, and I'd say as confident as I was last week about how straight they'd run, I'm going to treat the meeting with a fair bit of trepidation, and I guess my confidence will grow as the pattern sort of starts to present itself. Let's have a quick look at today's show. We're going to go races 1, 2, and 6, and then we get into the quaddy leagues 7, 8, 9, 10. And we may as well go straight into the first. It's the Aquas Gold Nugget. It's a 2-year-old colts and gelding. It's 1,100 metres. It's the quick backup for some of the 2-year-olds aiming for the big 2-year-old Magic Millions. And the market, thanks to Ladbrokes, is itching to go. $1.65 favourite. Bashimi $4.40. Dragon Magic $5.50. And then you got Wooten, at $8. You got $17 written acclaim and $27 exclusive one. Donnie, itching to go. I see Golan on his preview show thinks it's going to peak here. We're sort of half against it this day, but if it gets the same scenario here, it's lights out.
I think it'll get a better scenario. It'll lead instead of sitting outside the leader. The first start, we don't see the replay, got beat by Ziploc, who's second favourite for the Magic Millions next week. This day, it was back to 1,100 after debuting on 1,200, sat outside the leader, overdid it a bit, and was too strong for an okay horse. But the advantage here is it's just going to find the front pretty much without any pressure. It looks clearly the horse to beat. I've marked it $1.30, $1.40-ish, and just don't see much in the trials, especially their lack of early speed is a big worry for those debuting tomorrow.
Yeah, the Toby Edmonds runner, it's sort of bred to get over a mile or...
Yeah, it didn't look good at the trials for me for a debut, but home track, they might have been prepping it up for this race, but I can't see it beating the favourite.
GK, anything to add?
No, not really. Just think, look, I've got $1.50. Don't know how they beat it. Something will probably have to go wrong. And, it's just also like, how do you give something like this 2 starts? So you get a Golan horse third up against things on debut. Like, I think I've got $1.50. Probably lock that in as a leg for some multi-madness.
Hopefully get away to a flying start a la War Woven last week at Eagle Farm. Gold Coast Race 2 is an interesting one. It's the Aquas Gold Pearl. It's a 2-year-old fillies event. By Choice is favourite $3.20 at Ladbrokes, Sheiky $3.30, Tigroni $5.50, and Habit $11, Scartoon $12, Double Cool $14, and much, much better the rest. The first one we're going to have a look at, GK, is By Choice. It's in the white and the blue checks, and the longer this race goes, the better it looked, I thought.
Yeah, look, I thought this was a really impressive win on debut, especially to sit outside lead like it did there and then, knuckles down late and kicks away. Look, I thought the only slight query was that they sort of steadied up in the middle stages. And I thought that was maybe not ideal for some of those in behind. Like you saw Tigroni that was in there in the maroon colours, Rocher. I think it will improve as well. So, look, really encouraging debut run and, a good platform to move forward into this race. I guess the question is just whether it has the upside to perhaps take on Shiki.
Yeah, let's have a look at the Shiki replay. And it got sent out $1.80 favourite against War Woven, and it's the leader here in the white with a blue cap, and War Woven just knuckles down and beats it. And what you didn't see early in the race, it was quite fizzed up, Shiki, and race just so green and so, not green, but just real fresh and a little bit too keen and really just knocked up there in the last sort of 100 metres. And I thought this is just sneaky, typical Gay where there's a fair way out from grand final day with Shiki, and this looks like it could be screwed right down for this race. And then on the backup, Shiki could be the only real big danger and massive improver to turn the tables on War Woven. Like, I'm sort of smelling a bit of a rat. The $1.80 SP, I'm not really a big SP profile type man, but I am respecting that the War Woven form line is the better one. And I'm just thinking that there's probably the most improvement in Shiki. So if it had to have a bet between the two, By Choice or Shiki, I'd be probably leaning Sheiky's way. Just trusting that War Woven form, and even just the Gimcrack winners over time. I think she'll be suited here, and I think she'll probably improve again after this run and be a knockout chance in the 2-year-old.
I'm absolutely confused by the map of this race because there's plenty of speed here. By Choice is drawn out wide, and I thought it'd probably take a sit behind Scartoon, who would lead. Apparently, we've heard some rumours that it's going to drive right forward and sit outside the lead or look to take up the running. So that's just thrown an absolute spanner in the works. I think if it got one out, one back, it looked probably the main hope. I kind of couldn't forgive Sheiky of how weak it was last start. Maybe I'm talking through my pocket because I had a lot of money on it that day and a lot of money riding through it. But it didn't do much. But its trials prior were elite, and I thought it was going to win the millions off its trials. So I'm completely confused in this race. I think Tigrani's the horse that's going to sit just off the speed, probably third pair, and looks the map horse if they overdo it, because Scartoon's going to go hard. If By Choice zooms over, Sheiky takes a sit, and even Inhabit, the South Australian horse, it's got early speed as well. So they might just take each other on too hard here and be left wanting late. And if they do, I think it is Tigrani's the horse that can get over the top. But I'm completely confused by Sheiky, By Choice, and Tigrani.
GK?
At the prices right now, I think I'd probably have something Tigroni, just as Donnie alluded to there. Like, I think the map works, and I think there's going to be plenty of pressure here. I thought By Choice is probably too short early. I just think the overall profile of Sheiky is a better overall profile, and before that last start, after that last start, they said that they found that it had blood in its mouth. So, like, it's obviously hit its head on something, like, I don't know if it was the barriers or whatever. So, like, it was just completely fizzed up and, overdid it through those middle stages. So, look, at the prices right now, I think I'd have something small Tigroni, but outside of that, I could maybe lean back on Sheiky late, but wait and see for me.
If it's a faster run race, I'm just not as convinced Tigroni, and I think I'll just settle in with a bit of a bet on Sheiky, and I'd be interested to see. So it's going to be fascinating to see what the market does here. And not a high confidence race, but fascinating to see how they all race tactically, and then if there's going to be anything jump out of the ground from it, because I think it's obviously the stronger form lines compared to the other Colts and Geldings edition. Race 6 is the next one. It's the Sunlight Consolation Plates, 1,100 metres, and Miss Freelove's the favourite here, $3.20. Forgotten Spirit, $6. Talk to be sure, $7.50. King of Pop, one of Walt's horses, $9. Johnny, $11. Sustainable, $11. Ex-Eloquent is $11, and then you got Northlander, $15. Couple of replays we're going to have a look at here. First one is the Miss Freelove trial. There she is out the back with the white and the red. You got Savvy Haley, who's in the Sunlight Plate race in the light colours with the purple hat, back on the fence, and thought this was great work, Donnie.
Yeah, outstanding trial. It's a nice filly. It would have been targeting the main race, the Sunlight, but obviously didn't get a slot. Sectionals out of this trial were good. It was the best last 600 of the day, the second best last 200 of the day. So it's moving really well. It's a gun horse that's perfectly suited at 1,100 metres, just the map and where it goes to in the run's the query and how the track's playing.
$3.20?
I haven't backed yet, but I'll be waiting to see how the track plays and hoping for a little drift.
Nice. All right. King of Pop looks like a bit of a danger here, GK. Here it is buried, sort of second last in the dark blue and with the white sleeves and cap. And I was a little bit disappointed with this trial. Like, it wasn't sort of electric and sort of bomb and bolting sort of trial. Had to sort of get stoked up. Monty Cate's flying. It's the winner of the trial, but just had to get urged a little bit here. And personally, I think I've just had a gutful of this horse.
Yeah, look, I'm sort of similar. Look, the first look at this trial, I thought the same. They did really restrain it out of the gates. So that was one thing. And I thought the first trial was better visually. So I don't know whether they just wanted a little tick over trial there, so a nice little quiet trial. Perhaps that's what they wanted. In normal circumstances, I don't think I would find King of Pop, but it's just the conditions of this race, with like set weights. Its rating is so much better than almost all of these by 10 points plus. Some of these its rating is 20 points higher these. So it's just in so well at the weights with the conditions of the race, which I think makes it a big danger. And these types of set weights races, they always tend to favour those with the higher overall rating profiles. So I think at the price, it's one that I probably will have to cover, and especially because of where it's drawn. Look, the two that I found were Miss Free Love and King of Pop. There's a couple of little knockout chances as well, like Exeloquent, Talk to Be Sure, potentially a knockout chances. But look, I haven't bet. I'm going to wait. Similar to Donny, I want a better price Miss Free Love, and then I'll probably have something Free Love and something King of Pop.
Yeah, I'm sort of in love with Point Barrow, so anything that sort of anchors towards the Point Barrow form, which is Miss Free Love, and off that trial, I'd probably lean that way. But again, market sort of hasn't missed it at 320, so happy to keep powder dry until we see pattern. Quaddy legs, let's go. Race 7's the first one. It's the Wave. It's an 1,800-metre race. It's the Magic Millions Wave. It's Miss Jolene favourite. One of ours, $2.90 favourite. Sly Boots up from Sydney, $5.50. Yu Wang, bit of a sneaky one, $5.50. Port Lockroy, $7.50. Encoder, $9.50. And you got Wymark, $11. And Stitzenova, not sure what it's doing, out to $1,800. Confusing me, $16. And then you got Pasima, $20. The interesting race that we're going to have a look at is the 7 members mile. And Miss Jolene right down the outside, and then you got Encoder in the black with the pink, and I thought Encoder was pretty good, GK, and Miss Jolene has obviously raced well since.
Yeah, look, I think this was a good run from Encoder fresh here, and usually its profile is that it'll have a run and then it'll peak, and second and third up it really shows its best. And Miss Jolene's just doing the things that this mare does. Like, she's the most consistent, dependable mare in this grade in Queensland. The problem is that she just has no tactical speed. So, we see over and over again, we get to the 600 and, CJ goes to the whip and you think, oh, she's got none. Like, I'd love to see the prices in run in some of these races. And then she just, she comes at the line. So, look, I love Miss Jolene, one of my favorite horses in Queensland, but I can't take $3 in this race as a back marker. This just isn't the price range for me to back Miss Jolene, even though her overall profile and form is just better and her ratings are better. I think Encoder could be a big improver here. So again, another one that I haven't bet early, but they're the two that I'm mainly interested in. Sly Boots is interesting, but I don't know if I want to go there. I thought this was a good performance down the outside here in Sydney. This is still benchmark grade. Like, is this equal to the types of races that Miss Jolene and Encoder are coming through? I don't think so. But, it could just be, right horse, right time potentially for Sly Boots. And then the rest of these, like, how many other chances are there? Like, is that Wymark form actually form? I don't know. I'm not sure what to make of that Caulfield Heath stuff. So, yeah, I'm kind of left in a bit of a pickle where if Miss Jolene drifted, I could potentially get involved, and maybe I'll have something on Encoder 1x3.
Yeah, I thought Sly Boots is airborne and liked him late in his prep. I think he had a fail on a really heavy track behind Juju Kibo, which was great form. Royal Supremacy, he went really close to it in a Wyong Cup. So me thinking 1,800 possibly okay, and just the way he was sort of strong through the line there with that Sounds Unusual form, I thought that's good enough to be a knockout hope here. Yeah, not really well in at the weights, but if there's a few asleep or there's problems, I thought it could win. And the horse that I thought was the sneaky knockout was the Chris Lee's Yu Wang. Just starting a Group 3, Group 2, sort of dead out the back, had bad draws, T. Schiller on. I thought it was the bolter and the real big improver. So it's had 1,500, 1,600. Then they've taken it to the trials behind Yellow Brick, and now should be peaking at sort of 1,800. If it just smells like a really big setup. So I wouldn't be surprised if Yu Wang was the knockout runner there. But again, you're sort of taking 550. I'd expect a horse like that to be sort of around the $10 chance, or the $10 mark. Like this, it's the shortest she's ever been. But maybe it's because the race is only just.
Wonder where all the good weight for age horses are, because they're certainly not here. But I thought Wymark was the value of the race. Gets the perfect map. I don't bet in Melbourne, but apparently the trainer, Graham Bedge, goes all right.
Yep.
Just maps perfect. Was good last start, and his prior form was very good when he was with Michael Friedman in Sydney. I think he started $6 in a derby. So that's the way I'm going. It loves a good track. and just maps well, probably 1x3.
Yeah, I think it's a really savvy buy. I know we sort of half looked at Wymark, and Benji just had more money than us through the sale. So I think it's it's a horse with a fair bit of upside, and it's probably a little not even peaking yet. So it could be the peak performance run this Saturday. So fascinating race and some value if you're looking away from Miss Jolene. But it's a trickier start to the quaddie than I would have liked. Race 8 is the next one. It's the Syndicate. It's over 1,100 metres, and the market courtesy of Ladbrokes is Payline, $2.30 favourite here. Very short. Spywire $5.50, Golden Boom $6, Storm the Ramparts at 11, Epic Proportions 12, Scampy 12, Chinqui $14, and you got King Kappa $18. A few replays. Golden Boom is the first one in the Bribey, and sort of got to a bit of an awkward position here, but there it is in the white with the blue sleeve, sort of just outside Vodka Martini there, and hits the line quite nicely. And multiple starts, I guess, in the last sort of 5 starts, I think they've ridden this horse just far too back. I've always had the thought that it should be sort of leading, outside leader, or at worst, sort of second pair. So I've been frustrated, but I'm hearing from the Golan report through their video that I think they might push the button this time, and I think that could be the key to it. Epic Proportions is the other one you sort of like here. This is it from the George Moore Stakes, just in the white with the black and the yellow stars.
Yeah, this is the race that it kind of handed up the lead here and absolutely tails off. So I'm not sure why we're getting the punters keen with this replay, but it's won about 5 of its last 9 races overall and 2 out of its last 4 in Queensland. Both occasions it's led. The other 2 occasions it's pinged the leads and they've handed up the lead, which is really strange for this horse. I'm thinking here, if it jumps, it's got to go handlebars down. I'd only want to back it if it leads, and I think it can. So that's why I think the price around $11 is $11 or $12 at the moment is a nice price. I think Golden Boom, if they do press the button, they're going to have to sit outside the lead, hopefully. If they do cross it, it's a huge chance. And then Payline's the gun horse, gets the blinkers on, back in distance. Stable think it's going to improve second up. So they're the 3, but at the moment I haven't had a bet yet, but Epic Proportions on top. I just wanted some clarity of the map and what's going to happen early.
The Caballos form line's absolutely huge, so I agree with what you're saying there. If they ride it differently, that's still an okay performance, and it can bounce back, and probably just needed a little bit of a let up and fresh. It might have come to the end of its tether there slightly. And Payline GK out of the Falvalon, just really tricky with this horse. 1,400, now back to 1,200 in this race. The Falvalon was still pretty good here, but now goes back to 1,100. It's sort of reverso.
Yeah, it is. And look, we've got such a stiffy for this horse. We love it. We're always on it. But the thing with Payline is normally because of the lack of tactical speed and the types of race it's in, it's usually double figures. Where's it going to get to on this map? Of course, it's a huge chance here. And that performance last start, I thought it was excellent, to be honest. I thought the closing sectionals were fantastic. It did all that it could from where it was on the turn. But $2.30, it's going to have to find a lot of luck in running. It's way too short for me. There's just no way I could back Payline in this price range. I think Golden Boom is the one personally at the prices, $6 or whatever it was. They clearly, that was just a clean out run in the Bribey. Maloney, I reckon it's almost certain that they push the button, they go forward, they'll either lead or they'll be OSL. At worst, they're going to be probably 1 out, 1 back. 1,100, this just suits perfectly. I think it's the right price to play Golden Boom each way. Epic Proportions definitely will be my quaddie. I thought Storm the Ramparts is probably a knockout as well, just with Mash on. 1,100, had a little tune-up run last start, and I think it has some numbers to win this race potentially. So, look, for me, this is one of my better bets on the day, Golden Boom each way.
Tony?
If they press the button on Prince of Boom and Golden Boom from out wide and then Epic Proportions tries to hold them out, they could absolutely go warp speed here. And if they do, then Payline is just sitting back counting its money pretty much. It's going to be the strongest late. So it's intriguing the first 200 to 300 meters of this race and where they set up. But like I said, I'm with GK. Epic Proportions. I couldn't back Golden Boom, but I do like Storm the Ramparts as a knockout in the quaddies.
Yeah, I just didn't love the last 50 metres of pay line, and I am sort of with GK on the sidelines with the pom poms and blinkers again pay line, especially with that weak last sort of 50 metres at the price. Like I personally couldn't back it, especially with the track the way it might play. But I do agree that looks on paper that looks to be plenty of speed. Yeah, I'm sort of getting more grey the more I sort of think about this race and sort of don't want to play, but it looks a setup job for Golden Boom with Golan and their confidence of just sort of taking the race by the scruff of the neck. That's sort of what I'm hoping, but I've been hoping for the last 4 starts and sort of not getting that. So fascinating to see how it unfolds, but I think it's a real puzzle. Race number 8 of the quaddie. Let's go to race 9. It's a Sunlight 3-year-old, and this is no easy. It's an 1,100 metre slot race. Wow, look at this field. There'll be some scratchings come out because you've got the Consolation. So we'll go to the top of the market. Grafter Burners, $2.35. Acacia, $6. Ice Cool, $7. Savvy Haley, $7. Sword Play, $11. Sylph, $12. North England, $15. Foreign Press, $19. And you got Get Ready Last, $23. And then, as you can see, Miss Freelove, $26. And she's favourite of the Consolation. Let's go through 4 replays. The Gold Edition plate is the first one. This is Grafter Burners, GK.
Look, it's just a continuation of the really strong form that this thing has shown, this preparation. Put up a good number again. I suppose if you were maybe looking for a few negatives, you could say that it definitely got to the right part of the track, which I think it did. But it wins well, and you see, I think it's Sylph in behind it there. Still a strong performance by Grafter Burners. Look, it's hard to knock the horse the way it's going. I think it's a deserved favourite, but I think it's just a question of prices and maps and where you think it's going to get to in this race.
Interesting one. I thought obviously we're critical of riders on here to try and find angles from a betting perspective, and I don't think CJ's done a lot wrong on this horse Grafter Burners. Then she finds herself replaced by J-Mac, which is, it's an obvious choice for the owners. It is a big $3 million race, so it's a no-brainer according to you, Donnie, but it just further clouds me in terms of how trainers do or don't make decisions. Like, it is mind-blowing that you'd throw her off this when she's done nothing wrong, and she's entitled to be a bit disappointed.
Turn it off.
Hey?
Get her off quick, smart. She's fluked a couple of good rides on it. J-Max made the call. Like, it's every day of the week you put James on. No brainer.
Acacia's the next one we're going to have a look at. A orange and black in the trial, and I'm saying this is a bomb trial. Don't see horses go much better than this. I think Olay is the winner in the yellow, but wow, she's just kidding to him here. Donnie, out of 10, what would you give this trial?
Yeah, I'd give it a 9. It comes from that Point Barrow form line too, where it probably should have pushed it to the line where it got chopped out late. So absolutely flying. Love this horse. Once again, though, it's going to be back near last on the inside. So Grafter Burners may actually settle in front of her, which is a bit of an issue for me if I want to take a back marker on and Grafter Burners is sitting back there. So I love the horse. Been trying to find it which way she's going to go to, but I don't know if I can pull the trigger on her just yet.
Yeah, I've taken an early piece of it at $7, so I'm super keen off that trial and likely pressure up front. Savvy Haley's the horse that we saw earlier, so we'll have another quick look at that trial in a bit more focus, and lime green and purple, and just wanted to absolutely hum here and love the way she gets off the heels of that other runner and just keeps wanting to find the line. So Miss Freelove in the white and the outside, but it's as good as you can get, and all that Savvy Haley form was really super in the spring. So I think she has genuine claims here, and it'll be interesting to see tactically how Tommy plays it. He might have options by then. Barrier 7 could be the place to be, and maybe outside of Acacia, I think probably the most exciting and horse likely to get to the top level is Ice Cool. Sat outside the leader on this occasion, and I think showed a fair bit of versatility. I think they went fast early, then they sort of had a bit of a spell, and I thought he was vulnerable here, but did well to sort of fight back and give a really big kick when he could have just folded at start number 2. He's a little bit all over the shop and still learning, but wow, he looks like a really smart animal to me, and he's got like a severe will to win. I just worry that this race might have come up a bit too quick, or he's just spotting horses like Afterburners, Acacia, Savvy Haley, they've had multiple preps, and he's trying to do this at start 3, high pressure race. Is he going to get to the end of his tether? I'm not sure, but God, he's got some X factor, and I'm just looking for ways to sort of be with him. From a ratings perspective, I think he can do it. Track, pattern, be interesting to see how fast they go and how he responds to that pressure at start 3. GK?
Very interesting race. Look, I can't be with Afterburners at this price. Just at least until Saturday, I need to see final fields and get a bit of a sense of pattern. Look, I think Ice Cool is certainly, one of the untapped ones. So the way I'm thinking about playing it at this stage is I might have something on Ice Cool, I might have something on Acacia, and I just don't understand the price about Sylph. Like, I don't know why it is the price it is against some of these. Like, if we take the Afterburners rating and time last start as legit and that's real, well, Sylph was excellent in behind it there. So, like, I just don't understand how it could be this price. So, yeah, look, they're the 3 I've sort of circled in on, and if I take on Afterburners, that's the 3 that I'll target and work out a way to have something on each of them. I very much doubt that I can back Afterburners here. It's just going to be too short for me. I think it's probably going to be overbet, especially with some JMac tax thrown in. And look, there's a chance that it gets buried. So JMac's obviously the man to put on, and he can navigate this, but I don't want to be buried back on the rail with genuine tempo from 1,000-meter horses, and then some of these others really talented, exciting sprinters who be coiled up, ready to explode down the middle of the track, and they might just get the jump on Afterburners, and get the run. So yeah, look, tricky race. No way am I backing the favourite at this stage.
Afterburners is slightly too short, but certainly is going to be the strongest late. I think they're going to break the track record in the Consolation the start prior, and they're going to obliterate it here because they are going to go like scalded cats.
Yeah.
I think Savvy Haley is the map horse. It kind of settles forward to midfield in the running line, which is going to help. All the other favourites are going to be back the rail. I completely agree. Sylph is the value runner. It's still a maiden, but if you think it's a nonny, just take the place. It can map kind of midfield, and it may get in the running line, which may help it when those fast horses are tiring late. Completely against Ice Cool. Think it does a bit too much wrong. And your horse, I like it from gate 1, Acacia. It's going to, if he can posse up a touch and gets the luck, it's a knockout chance. But from a betting perspective, really, really difficult race. And I haven't had a bet yet. And I can't see which way I'm going to lean until I see the pattern.
Yeah, I think starting point has to be find an angle around Afterburners, especially the way that Sylph was sort of taking ground off it late. And I just think Afterburners had a lot in its favour the last couple of starts, and it's been maybe flattered. Its ratings might be a little bit inflated because it's been going around on fast twos. Might be similar conditions. Could be a road there on Saturday, but yeah, I just can't get excited about $2.35 either. Race 10 is the lucky last. The Magic Millions Cutest Open 1,300-metre handicap. Yellow Brick's the favourite. It's lumping all the weight with James McDonald. It's got 61 kilos against these. $3.60 at Ladbrokes. Boomtown Boss $3.80. Ready to ship $5. John Rambo $6.50. Bossed up $8. Bohemian Lad $15. Heatchote $16. And Boom Talk $17. Massive ratings spread. Given that you got horses like Yellow Brick in the real big miles, the King Charles, he's contested over sort of 1,600 in the Show County and some really big races in Sydney. And I've never really thought that 1,600's his go, but I do think 1,300 fresh is right in his sweet spot, Yellow Brick. So I think he's dangerous, but the horses here that are absolutely flying down the weights is your horse here, Donny, Ready to Ship in the black, just outside the leaders there, and Boomtown Boss, one of our favourites. Sort of resenting being inside horses.
Yeah, I think Ready to Ship sets up perfect here. I think the negatives are for it was coming off probably its flattest run this campaign. It's now 6th up, but it gets complete control of the speed here. I don't think there's much tempo at all here, so it's just going to jump, sit handy at the lead, sit outside the lead or be on the leader's back, which is probably the spot to be later in the day or any part of the day. I just love this horse. I love the setup. Had a nice trial since. Map's perfect. I'm going to the races. You're not going to the races. I might get you to Ready to ship all my cash back home after the last, but I'm chips in here each way. I think hopefully it's got one more good run left in her. She's got no weight, has a great setup, and I'm launching.
All right, GK, you as confident with this race?
No. I don't know what to make of that last run of Ready to Ship, to be honest. Like I agree with the control, the map, all of that. I just don't know what to make of that performance. Like I was hoping that I would see something in the steward's report. Nothing was clear. I personally think Boomtown Boss is a better animal than Ready to Ship. I thought the Gateway ended up being kind of a farcical tempo, and yeah, maybe Inside Horses didn't work for it. Yellow Brick, I presume they roll forward here, so I think that they'll be right there with Ready to Ship. So it's going to require a good ride from Williams on Boomtown Boss, but I trust him to deliver that. He's going to have to be taking ground off those two late, which is a little bit icky, but haven't bet. But at this stage, I think I may have something on Boomtown Boss, and yeah, I think the market is largely right in terms of like Yellow Brick, Ready to Ship, Boomtown Boss. Like anything else win the race? Maybe like Rambo, maybe. Depending on how quick they go. But I just think one of those three, they're very likely to win the race. So at this stage, I think I'd want to be on Boomtown Boss, but again, waiting.
Where have you mapped it?
I've got it about 3 back, 1 out, 3 back. No, not 8 wide. No, not 8 wide, but who knows? Maybe that's the spot.
That's the issue for me for that horse is it can over race and do a bit wrong. So I don't know how keen this. I know it's a big race worth $1 million, so they might want to push the button a bit more. But generally, they wouldn't want to roll the dice and get it over racing. So that's kind of why I'm slightly against it from the wide barrier.
I think you guys have got the map right collectively. I think Ready to Ship can get full control, and I think J-Mac probably knows with 61 kilos he has to get the old boy rolling Yellow Brick. So I anticipate that he'll go OSL, or he'll try and inject speed into the race very early, and I think that Craig Williams can just sit on its back or maybe one pair further back on Boomtown Boss. And I think he's a completely different animal outside horses. That was a shocking position for him, inside horses, and the outside barrier is a blessing in disguise. And by that stage, if the track's super dry, like his first win was absolute dynamic, and that was a fast 2. And there's been a little bit more juice in the track for his last 2 starts. So I think he's looking for dry ground, and 53.5 kilos is a really dangerous proposition for him. So that's the other good thing. He's had Emily Lang most of his career. He's had Maloney on a couple of times, but Craig Williams is by far and away the best jockey. So if anyone's going to get him to settle, I think he's the only bet that you can have in the race. So slightly with you, probably more so GK. And yeah, just don't like when mares sort of bottom out. When what I've seen there with Ready to Ship, they're great when they're up and rolling, but as soon as I see a chink in their armour, I sort of just want to jump off the mare train. And who knows, J-Mac might pull a rabbit out of the hat. But I just thought those 3 runners just had a massive like class edge and form edge on the rest of the runners. Like Bohemian Lad and John Rambo, I thought they're just a class below these. Dangerous Horses, Heatchote, like they're all decent, but I think they're just too far up in grade compared to these other horses. Like these are the next level above.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, so summary, I'd probably say Boomtown Boss is one of my better bets. I think Acacia's a great value play. Itch Indigo looks pretty easy to have in multis at the start of the day, but yeah, it's a trepidation day for me. What's your best, Donnie?
Yeah, I'll bookend the card. I'll go Itch Indigo early, very short, but I'm already on, and in the last, Ready to Ship each way.
Beautiful. GK?
Golden Boom each way.
Golden Boom each way in the sprint. Fantastic stuff. All right, if you're going out on track, make sure you run into Donnie. Can we see Donnie posting slips and bets?
I'm considering it. I don't know. If people like it, I'll do it because I'm out there punting like a madman, so I may as well throw it up. It does take a lot of effort though to stay on top of it, but I'm not drinking too much this week. I'll save that for the following weekend, so I might throw a few slips up.
Outstanding stuff. All right, GK and us and myself will probably have a week off the races, but I'll be betting and betting with confidence. And next week we've got the Ladbrokes hosted pot, so I won't be on the track either on Magic Millions Day. So I'll be betting from the bunker and doing my best there. And the good thing is the weather report looks really good. There's a big rain bob sort of headed for next Wednesday, Thursday, but that's all clear. So we've just got stormy sort of season and minimal rain leading right up until the 2-year-old. GK, I think you're out of play next Friday. So big thanks to you for the Brisbane Summer Carnival series, and we'll get you back for winter. If you want to follow more of GK stuff, make sure you head to the Little Birdie Tips area. He's there at Brizzy Form Guide. And if you want to follow Donnie or anyone, all our links are there. So you can just jump on and follow us all through Twitter, jump in our DMs, talk to us about the form in the Discord chats. Do whatever you please, because we're always betting. And Donnie, we'll see you next week, and we might get Walt to cameo for the big 2-year-old feature. I'm sure he's got a lot to say, and he's obviously got close links to the Waterhouse stable, so should be good insights to try and get Warwoven beat or otherwise.
Yeah, can't wait for next week and this week, actually. So need a couple of winners.
Yeah, it'll be great stuff. All right, big thanks to Racing Queensland, to Punting Form and Ladbrokes, and hope you have a good day on Saturday. It's a Twilight meeting, don't forget, and we'll see you next week.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.